The war had ended 3 months ago, but the scars remained fresh across the galaxy. The Xanthari Empire had finally signed the peace treaty with humanity after 7 brutal years of conflict. What shocked the Xanthari most wasn't humanity's military might. It was their unpredictability, their refusal to follow conventional warfare patterns, and their strange ability to turn disasters into victories. Commander Elsa Zhang stood in the observation deck of the human vessel Perseverance, watching the swirling blues and greens of Earth grow larger in the viewport. Beside her stood Crixthar, a Xanthari fighter ace whose crimson exoskeleton bore the scars of countless battles. The insectoid alien's compound eyes reflected the planet's light in prismatic patterns. "This is your homeworld," Crixthar clicked, his translator rendering the chittering sounds into flat, emotionless English. "I expected something more and fortified. Where are your orbital defense platforms? Your military installations?" Elsa smiled, adjusting her jacket. "Earth isn't a fortress, Commander. It's home." The Xanthari pilot had been assigned to Earth as part of the Cultural Exchange Program, a diplomatic initiative to ensure lasting peace. Elsa had volunteered to be his guide, much to the confusion of her superiors. She wasn't a diplomat or a politician. She was an astrophysicist who'd spent the war years calculating jump coordinates and running sensor arrays. Her colleagues called her a nerd. She wore the title with pride. "I still don't understand why you requested me specifically," Crixthar said, his mandibles twitching with what Elsa had learned was curiosity. "During the war, I destroyed 17 human vessels. I killed hundreds of your kind." "I know," Elsa replied softly. "I read your file. You were following orders just like we were. But the war's over now, Commander. Today I want to show you something that might help you understand why you could never truly defeat us." Crixthar's antennae perked up with interest, though skepticism radiated from his posture. The shuttle touched down in Istanbul, just as the sun began its descent toward the horizon. Hassan Demir was waiting at the landing pad, grinning widely despite the alien warship officer standing beside his childhood friend. "Elsa," Hassan called out, embracing her warmly. 4 years, and you still can't call ahead with more than 6 hours' notice?" "Some things never change," Elsa laughed. She turned to Crixthar. "Commander, this is Hassan Demir. We went to university together. He's an engineer, helped design the shield harmonics that gave you so much trouble during the Battle of Proxima." Crixthar's entire body went rigid. Your calculations caused the loss of my entire squadron at Proxima." Hassan's smile faded slightly, but he extended his hand anyway. "Yeah, I'm sorry about that. War's hell, isn't it?" After a moment's hesitation, Crixthar touched his chitinous claw to Hassan's palm, an approximation of a handshake. "Come on," Hassan said, the awkwardness breaking. "Elsa told me to take you both somewhere special. But first, dinner." They ate at a small restaurant overlooking the Bosphorus. Crixthar watched in fascination as boats of all sizes crossed the waterway, from massive cargo ships to tiny fishing vessels. The sun painted the sky in oranges and purples. "Your species lives so chaotically," the Xanthari observed. "No order, no unified purpose. How did you ever coordinate a war effort?" Hassan laughed, nearly choking on his tea. "Coordinate? We barely did. Half the human governments wanted to surrender. A quarter wanted to negotiate. The rest of us just got really stubborn." "That makes no tactical sense," Crixthar insisted. Elsa leaned forward. "That's exactly the point, Commander. You Xanthari fight with perfect coordination. Every ship knows its role. Every soldier follows the plan. But humans? We improvise. We argue, we disagree. And somehow in that chaos we find solutions you'd never consider." The Xanthari was silent for a long moment. "I witnessed this during the war. Your vessels would break formation for no apparent reason. Your tactics contradicted your own military doctrine. It was maddening." "Now you're getting it," Hassan said with a grin. As darkness fell, Hassan led them through the winding streets of Istanbul's old city. Crixthar's head swiveled constantly, taking in the mixture of ancient architecture and modern technology. The crowds of humans moving with seemingly no pattern, the cacophony of languages and music spilling from doorways. They climbed a narrow staircase to a rooftop terrace. Below them, the city stretched out in a glittering carpet of lights. The air smelled of spices, exhaust, and the salt of the sea. "This is what I wanted you to see," Elsa said quietly. Crixthar looked out over the sprawling metropolis. A city. I have seen many cities. Not like this one, Hassan said. Istanbul has been continuously inhabited for over 3,000 years. Empires have risen and fallen here. Romans, Byzantines, Ottomans. All of them thought they'd last forever. None of them did. Elsa pointed to different parts of the skyline. That mosque is 400 years old. That skyscraper was built last year. That bridge has carried people across the Bosphorus for decades, all of it existing together. Humans don't erase our history, Commander. We build on top of it. We learn from it. During the war, Hassan continued, you destroyed our colonies, burned our outposts, killed millions of us. And you know what humanity did? We mourned. We grieved. We remembered every single loss. And then we got back up and kept fighting because that's what we've always done. Krixthar was silent. His translator remained quiet for so long that Elsa wondered if it had malfunctioned. Finally he spoke. On my world, we build for efficiency, for purpose. When something is destroyed, we replace it with something better and forget what came before. We thought this made us superior. His compound eyes reflected the city lights. But watching this, your vessels during the war made no sense because they were designed by thousands of different minds across thousands of years of history. Every human carries this chaos within them. Not chaos, Elsa corrected gently. Complexity, diversity, resilience. The Zenthari commander's antennae drooped. A gesture Elsa had learned meant deep thought, perhaps even sadness. We could never have truly conquered you. Even if we'd won every battle, destroyed every ship, occupied every world, you would have endured, adapted, outlasted us. Hassan clapped the alien on what approximated a shoulder. Now you understand why the war ended in peace talks instead of occupation. Your leaders figured out what you just did. A call to prayer echoed across the city, ancient and beautiful. Krixthar listened, his translator unable to capture the emotional resonance of the sound. Thank you, he said finally, for showing me this. For helping me understand? Elsa smiled, looking out over her homeworld. We're not perfect, Commander. We're messy and contradictory, and we make terrible mistakes. But we endure. And now that we're at peace, maybe we can teach each other something valuable. As the three of them stood on that rooftop, watching a city that had survived millennia of change, the galaxy seemed a little smaller, and peace seemed a little more possible. Humanity's strength had never been in their weapons or their tactics. It had always been in their stubborn, chaotic refusal to give up. And now, at least one alien warrior understood why.